If you love the scent of leather and if you enjoy fragrances like Tom Ford's Ombre leather and Tom Ford's Tuscan leather, then this is the video for you. We are going to go through 3 new leather fragrances that are part of the leather collection from Zara. Before I begin, if you love smelling good, then make sure you hit that subscribe. I basically upload every single day and you will smell good for sure. So Zara has really impressed me lately, especially with their sort of woody and tobacco collection. I'm gonna link to my video of those above, so please do check it out. So when I saw these as a leather freak, I just had to buy them all. Let's start with Zara Still Leather. Some of the notes in Zara Still Leather are saffron, violet leaf, frankincense, jasmine, raspberry, amber, leather and musk. If you are a leather freak like me and saw the notes, that raspberry, the jasmine, the amber and leather, then you probably thought of one of the finest leather scents ever made. Tom Ford Tuscan leather, and if you thought of it, congrats, you were right. This thing has, oh yes, Tuscan leather vibes for sure straight away. But I'm gonna say this has a bit of ombre leather in it as well. But what I get is that it doesn't have the same spiciness as ombre leather. And its fruitiness is not exactly the same as Tuscan leathers. And the leather of it doesn't have the same sort of a depth and richness as either ombre leather and Tuscan leather. I also feel that the sort of a smokiness of ombre leather and Tuscan leather is not really the same in here. And there's a bit of violet leaf in here, which I don't get in the originals. So this, at least to me, feels like a lighter version of Tuscan leather with a bit of ombre leather in it as well. It's not exactly the same, but it's definitely inspired by both. And when it dries down, it almost feels like there's more woodiness to it than leather. So the leather in Still Leather does not feel as long lasting as the rest of the composition. Before I move on to performance, I would suggest that if you try it out both up in the air and on your skin. The combination of those two will give you a better feel for how it smells like. This is a fragrance I think smells more like the originals when you get a whiff of it than if you smell it off your skin. Performance. This is unfortunately not as strong as Tuscan leather or ombre leather. Longevity seems okay. It stays on my skin for a few hours, but projection goes down quite a bit after about an hour. So don't expect Zara Still Leather to be beast mode or a room filler or anything like that. Usage. So I use my Tom Fords pretty much throughout the year, but I definitely use them more spring, fall and winter. This, however, since it's like a lighter version of Tuscan leather, probably works throughout the year. Occasions are definitely more sort of a casual and formal events and less for work, but since it's not as intense as the originals, I feel you could probably pull it off at work as well. Let's move on to Zara Leather Freestyle. Some of the notes in Zara Leather Freestyle are bergamot, bitter orange, black pepper, frankincense, ambrofix, cashmere and gaiac wood, vetiver, cistus, leather, patchouli and vanilla. This opens up quite spicy with a slight hint of freshness and then goes straight into something that to me is quite woody and slightly smoky. The first time I smelled this, I was like, hey, what's going on? Is this even a leather scent? However, this phase doesn't last long. As it starts to go into the dry down, it does change quite a bit and I get more leather, kind of smooth leather, less smokiness, and there's vanilla and something slightly sort of a chocolate-ish. The leather in Leather Freestyle feels quite soft, smooth and sort of a suede-like, and very different if you compare it to Still Leather. The vanilla is soft as well, with slightly smoky and ambery undertones, and the whole thing is basically like a smooth and quite easy to wear leather scent. It feels like I smelled something like this before, and I think it reminds me of one of my sort of a less raw and more smooth suede scents. Performance. This is definitely not a strong fragrance. It's however not super weak either. Somewhere sort of an average or slightly below average. This is a fragrance I highly recommend spraying more with. Usage. This is not a strong or intense kind of leather fragrance. It's kind of smooth, so that in a way sort of expands its versatility. I still, however, feel that this is more of a casual kind of scent. You can use it to work if you want, of course, but I do think this is more of a go out with your friends kind of scent than for work. I would probably not use this when going on a date either. When it comes to season, since it's not an intense kind of leather scent, it will probably work throughout the year, but I do feel that this probably shines the most during spring and fall. So let's move on to Zara Know the Leather. And with a name like Know the Leather, you pretty much expect a big dose of leather, and that's pretty much exactly what I'm getting. Some of the notes in Zara Know the Leather are bergamot, lavender, saffron, violet leaf, iris, leather, osmanthus, amber, musk, patchouli and vanilla. Zara Know the Leather gives me, much like Still Leather, a Tom Ford vibe. This one, however, leans way more towards Ombre leather, but with a twist, and quite a nice one actually. Know the Leather is primarily leathery with a bit of vanilla to it, and that's the biggest part of that sort of a twist. And it's slightly powdery, and it has a bit of soft woodiness at the base. So leather, vanilla, slightly powdery and soft woody. And this one I really like. Ombre leather is one of my fragrances for life. I absolutely love this fragrance. And Know the Leather has a bit of this, but with vanilla, which is a note that's present in a lot of my favorite fragrances. And it's a bit powdery. Even though the leather in here reminds me of Ombre leather, I do want to say that it feels a bit lighter, so it doesn't have the same sort of a depth and punch to it. When it comes to performance, this one wins at least out of all of these and on my skin. It's definitely above average with decent longevity. It's however not super strong. But if you spray it on and are inside, I think most will be able to pick up on it as long as you spray it properly. Usage, mostly casual and formal events. Put your leather jacket on, and this when you are going out with your friends, or spray it on for a black tie event. Seasons, I'm gonna use Know the Leather as I use my Tom Ford leather fragrances. So pretty much a focus on spring, fall and winter. So a quick recap before I share my thoughts on which I like the most and before I rank them all. Still Leather is the one that, at least to me, is the most like Tom Ford's Tuscan leather with just a bit of Ombre leather to it. Leather Freestyle is the one that's kind of light and soft, and the one that's sort of a suede like. And Know the Leather is the one that reminds me the most of Ombre leather, but with the twist of vanilla and a bit of powderness. I'm going to give third place to Zara Leather Freestyle. It's a smooth, cozy and soft kind of leather scent, but it's also a bit too light. Try it if you enjoy sort of a lighter leather scents, but I do enjoy the others more. Second place goes to Zara Still Leather. I absolutely love both Tuscan leather and Ombre leather, and even though I wish the leather in here would stay for longer, for the price, it's a good one. It's not, however, as epic as Tuscan leather or Ombre leather. First place is definitely Know the Leather. This gives me a bit of Ombre leather, which is a scent I'm absolutely addicted to, but it does so with a twist, and it's a twist I think is really nice. And the performance is the best out of these. So Zara keeps on impressing me. This is another nice, cheap collection that smells good. However, I do think that the Woody and Tobacco collection that I previously reviewed are more exciting, interesting and well made. And that's coming from a leather free. If you have the chance, please do check out my video with the Woody and Tobacco collection, because I feel those are fantastic fragrances. Back to these three. If you love the scent of leather, and if you enjoy fragrances like Tom Ford's Tuscan leather and Ombre leather, then definitely check out Still Leather and Know the Leather. I would love to know your thoughts on these and how you feel about them, so please put that in the comments. Please like this video. Thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell, make sure you check out the videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.